So in this video, I'm going to show you and share with you why that little drill that I've just done could be the best thing that's happened to you if you're a golfer who struggles with one of the most common faults out there, the over the top. So we know what that over the top is. It's when from the top of the golf swing, the golfer tends to throw the club head too much out this way. They swipe across it, and typically we're going to see pulls and fades and slices. So that was a little drill. What I had to do in that drill, I had to miss this alignment stick and I had to hit the ball left of my target, which I did. I lost it in those kind of bushes on the right. So let's run through just why this is going to be, for me, a drill which could really unlock some good things in your golf swing. For the first little exercise, we're going to take our normal grip and our normal stance. We're going to stand up in front of us this way. Now notice how the leading edge of that golf club is perfectly straight up and down. It's vertical. We're going to call that neutral. So this would be open and this would be closed. So watch what happens if I try to simulate a golf swing but stood up in this position. Well, I can pretty much keep the club head working around my body on this sort of perfectly level line. But watch what happens when I do that. I rotate it around, and then suddenly when I get to about here, you can see how the club face is still perfectly vertical, but I'm kind of stuck. I can't really go any further. So if I was hitting a shot, I can't really go much past here. So if we want to make a longer backswing, and we do, we have to let our arms fold, and that allows us to get the club much more around our body. It would look a little bit more like a fuller swing. But have a look at the club face. Those grooves are no longer vertical, they're now laying horizontal with the ground. So my club face, during my backswing, to allow me to get into a full backswing position, had to rotate by 90 degrees. And that 90 degrees of rotation was through my arms, and it was opening the club face. So notice how the club face opens and I'm still able to keep the golf club moving around my body on pretty much this horizontal line. That's fine. That's going to happen in your golf swing most likely. But what it means is we've got to close the club face. We have to take that 90 degree open club face and close it. Now, this is where we start to see a few issues, because lots of you will start to square the club face using your elbow and your shoulder. So watch what happens to the club face as I use my shoulder. Can I take those grooves which are level with the floor and get them more vertical? Yes, notice those grooves, perfectly vertical. But what did the club head do? It didn't stay on that horizontal line, did it? It came up and over that line. So I squared the club face, but the club head went too much on the outside. Watch what happens if I try and do it with my shoulder or my body movement. Take that club face, and can I change the club face? Again, yes I can. I can get those grooves back towards vertical, but again, what did the club do? It went upwards. So if we relate that to your golf swing, we'll remove that stick for the moment. What often happens, and this is, you know, we can sort of say this is probably the most common fault we see out there, the golfer can make a really nice backswing, but the club face is open. And so what they will do is they'll square it with their arm coming out this way, or they'll square it with their shoulder spinning out. And so if you videoed your golf swing, or if you have these feels that many of you will have of this kind of lunging at it with that right shoulder, or the arm starting to fling itself at the ball, or any of those movements that you know are present that you're not really trying to do, it's because you're trying to take a club face which is open and you're trying to square it. It's your brain kicking in saying, I want to hit this ball straight down the fairway or onto the green or at the target that you've picked. And it's your body's instinctive way of closing the club face. Therefore, we have to try and change that pattern. So let me grab a golf ball. So the problem we have, and this is again what we'll see all too often, is that that movement that you're making, that sort of over the top move this way, the steepening of the club shaft and the kind of lunging at it, is to square the face, and it kind of does a decent job of that, but it causes you to come over the top. So when we say to a golfer, okay, let's not come over the top, let's not throw the club on the outside, let's deliver it sort of on a better delivery position, what we'll often get is a ball which goes way off to the right, because we took out that movement that was in there, which was actually kind of square in the face. So when you take out the movement that squares the face, what do you get? Well, you get a downswing which, you put it on camera, you go, oh, that's much better. I'm not coming over the top anymore. But you go on the golf course and guess what? You're slicing it further into the trees on the right. Everything's going way out to the right and you play worse. So what do? You think, well, I know how I can get the golf ball around the golf course. I can make this movement here. So that hopefully explains a little bit about what happens in your golf swing. And I'm a big believer in, yes, giving someone the instruction and telling them what to do and offer the drills, but I really believe that your development in the game is going to be better and more sustainable if you're understanding a little bit more deeply what's happening and why those things are happening. So you notice the shot I hit at the start. I missed the alignment stick, but where did the ball go? It went left. That's the drill. It's not easy. And you notice that the shot I hit only went, well, probably 20 yards. So the idea is, can you take a setup? You can see where I've got that alignment stick. It's roughly at the angle of my golf club. It's just on the outside of my ball and it's maybe 2 feet back. And I'm looking to say, can I, from the top, bring the golf club down and miss the alignment stick on the underside of it? But at the same time, I'm trying to deliver a club face which is closed. So what I'm effectively doing is I'm saying, right, from here, I can't use this movement. I can't use this movement with the body. I have to keep the golf club on this horizontal line, but I have to use my hands and my forearms to start to square the club face. And you can see how I can do that and actually get it slightly closed. So standing upright, as I did there, will be the first stage to this. Can we get that club moving around our body? Club opens by 90 degrees, but can we start to bring it back on that same line and square the club face without the need to kind of make these movements here, which you can say clearly kicks the club too much up off that line. If you did that, you're going to collide with the alignment stick. So let me show you that little drill again, and I'm going to try and hit this again left into those kind of ferns at the end of the tee. So we go up, can I miss the alignment stick and hit it to the left? With any luck, that looks relatively easy, but I can guarantee you, if you're someone who knows you've got this over the top move or you struggle with an open club face, that will be really difficult. And those balls are only going 20 yards, but it'd be really difficult because it's a brand new pattern that you've not been exposed to before. It's not one that you've practiced before. Now, ultimately, we can start to build up the speed. As we build up the speed, very often you get kind of conscious of the obstacles in the way and it can impede your swing a little bit, but there's nothing to stop us starting to increase that speed. And as we increase the speed, we'll be looking to deliver a club face which is fairly neutral. You know, we're not looking to close that face now. That's the kind of initial stage. So the progression to that would be, can we start to build the speed and start to deliver a club face which is a little bit closer to zero, a little bit closer to neutral. Because then you're giving yourself a tick in terms of your club delivery, that's correct, and you're squaring the club face. So we're starting to get that kind of holy grail of what makes the great players great and what's probably holding you back from playing your best golf, because your club face is open and you're swiping across it in an attempt to fix it. Once you feel comfortable, remove the stick, because as I said, once you start to build up a little bit of speed, we kind of don't really want that obstacle in the way, because it's probably going to be in the back of your mind and it's almost going to do you more harm than good. So let's see if we can finish this with a pretty good shot. I've only got a 7 iron.